Yeah, man. Tune on in. Yeah. Y'all know it's that time of year. Y'all know what it is, dog. But waiting 8 long months, man, for that fantasy football. Get your lineups lined up. And if you don't know where to go, you should tune on in every single day to the Justin Henry Show. He gon' help you with your picks, ayy. He gon' help you get the wins, ayy. You could be the Patty Mahomes of your league if you're listening, ayy. Touchdowns, Justin Jefferson, or Saquon on the goal line. You could be number one in every league that you're in. That's in no time. Get your lineups lined up. And if you don't know where to go, you should tune on in every single day to the Justin Henry Show. Get your lineups lined up. And if you don't know where to go, you should tune on in every single day to the Justin Henry Show. Get your lineups lined up. And if you don't know where to go, you should tune on in every single day to the Justin Henry Show. Get your lineups lined up. And if you don't know where to go, you should tune on in every single day to the Justin Henry Show. Get your lineups lined up. And if you don't know where to go, you should tune on in every single day to the Justin Henry Show. Get your lineups lined up. And if you don't know where to go, you should tune on in every single day to the Justin Henry Show.
Good. What's good, y'all? Welcome back. Justin Henry Show, January 24th, Wednesday. We're going to go to the NFC Championship, get that thing previewed out. I appreciate y'all tapping in, hitting the like button, showing some love, dropping subs. Obviously, shout out to the chat that got here early. I got a crazy car outside. The horn is might be my car. Kids are just getting home and stuff. But other than that, man, hope y'all enjoying yourselves. Ready for some football this weekend. We got the AFC and NFC championships. Let's get into it, baby. Ja was popping. He said, J-Han, what's good? Life's good on this side, my man. Appreciate you. Mario said, Jim Harbaugh to the Chargers. Is that official? Yo, is that official? Did that come in? I did not see that today. Normally I get, you know what I'm saying? I know the info. So is this real? Is this official or is this hope? Because I know he had an interview. Vrabel had an interview with the Falcons today. I did not see the Jim Harbaugh. So if that came in, let me know. Hopefully my Raiders make some good moves. You know, Raiders, bro. Raiders. I don't know about these Raiders. Bro. Where you drafting Marvin Harrison, all depends on landing spot. Like say it's I doubt Chicago, so say it's like Washington for whatever reason or Arizona. For me, I'm probably going like 5th, 6th round. I'm still going to put him in that wide receiver 3-ish, 4-ish type tier. Wait, is this the Justin Henry from the Yahoo Sports videos? Yes, indeed. It is the Justin Henry from Yahoo Sports. Kate, what's popping, bro? What's popping? Missed the last few, but I'm back and ready for some NBA and some NFL, of course. Got you, Jazz Falcon. We talked, obviously, some NBA already yesterday. I did Eastern Conference preview. Not doing a Western Conference like preview prediction type thing today. Just going to solely do the NFC Championship today. But basketball is on the way. And then also, I know I promised it to y'all. New show coming tonight. Technical Foul with me and my guy, Corey Parson. We talk about NBA. We talked about Kevin Durant, too. Anthony was popping. He said, yo, what's good? Bro, my guy, Justin, get your lineups lined up. Sources say Debo is 50-50. Yes, he is 50-50 for Saturday. And if he doesn't return for Sunday, I think the Lions will beat y'all. So I'm kind of like, to be real, I'm kind of like skeptical about this game already. The Lions seem like a team that a lot of people are underrating, but yes, we need Debo to win. We need Debo. That's official. Official? Well, congratulations to the Chargers. Getting their head coach, Jim Harbaugh, is going to be a good addition. So when I think about that from a fantasy perspective, next year, like we know what Harbaugh does with quarterbacks. So I think from a real football perspective, we're going to see a bigger growth than we will like fantasy-wise from Justin Herbert. I still expect like 4,500 to 5,000 yard passer. Keenan Allen's still going to be incredible. Mike Williams is going to be incredible. Quentin Johnston, the Harbaugh, when he was with the Niners initially, he was a little bit more run-centric. And then I know in Michigan, obviously they spread the ball out. So I'll be curious to see what he does with the talent that he has there. Obviously, I don't think we'd expect Austin Eckler back. Probably would get probably going to be a free agent that comes to LA. So I know he likes to ground and pound. So whether that's a Derrick Henry, who probably was looking for more of an LA type base deal, Saquon. I'm just thinking like some of the bigger names out there. Josh Jacobs would be an easy move from him from Vegas. So there's going to be a free agent, either a free agent back, I think that goes to play with Harbaugh, or maybe they draft somebody. I don't think it'll be any running back they have on the roster right now. Mario Raiders fan, all these Raider fans here, man. Raiders fans here. Hopefully we draft Jaden Daniels. What's it? Oh, Raiders, wouldn't be a bad addition. Kate said, "What's good, homie? Been a while. Great to have you back. You look sick in the videos, man. Hope you feel better." How could you tell? You could tell I was sick. I was sick. I was down and out. I was out for a few days, man, laid up. So had a high fever when I filmed those videos. I had a fever. So yes, I was sick. And you knew that at the time. So Joshua Kelly, yeah, Joshua Kelly's getting up out of there, bro. Joshua Kelly ain't shit. Joshua Kelly is an afterthought. He's a backup. He had his opportunity this year when Austin Eckler went down. He ain't do a damn thing. I'm still recovering from the first round loss. At least we fired everyone. Sirianni got to go to Eagles fans, stop showing up. Eagles fans in the chat, stop showing up. Yo, hey, that was a bad loss. And I think Eagles, man, they'll bounce back, but they got some things to figure out because it seems like there was definitely a blueprint on how to beat the Eagles. So saw they just picked up Vic Fangio today. Good addition there. We'll see what happens. Justin, you should have just gotten the Bleach Report on Harbaugh to the Chargers. I think I got some notifications off that I need to have on right now. Put it that way. I went on vacation a couple weeks ago and I turned off all my notifications. So maybe I didn't, I ain't, you know what I'm saying? I ain't get all of them that I needed to back on. I know you talked a little out of energy and stuff, my man. My bad. But hey, we back. Your boy is back. I actually just filmed a Yahoo podcast today. So if y'all want to check it out, they have a full episode up on the Yahoo Sports page. If you want to check it out there, if you want to check out the individual videos, it's on the Fantasy Basketball homepage. You'll be able to find that, or in player profiles. Some of even the player profiles for the players, the videos are in there. Where can you watch the videos? That is where you can watch. I wasn't able to complete the 3-peat this fantasy season. It happens, This was a tough year, man, fantasy-wise. Like, I was doing when I just dropped my first 2 rounds. I don't know if I'm going to do any more. But I dropped the first 2 rounds of like a way too early mock draft. And it's like there's a lot of names in there that I didn't anticipate being in there, especially when you got like your Kyron Williams, your Puka Nakuas, just players that are going to kind of, that took leaps. Now it pushes everybody else down. So I think a lot of players that we truly depended on last year, we didn't need them this year to finish the season. Like a lot of our old reliables, the Cooper Kupps of the world, Devontae Adams, a lot of those, we didn't need them players in order to win this year. So it sucks, but like the normal way to win a fantasy league, it wasn't that. I would say that you could have won a league like that this year, but it wasn't the end all be all. There was a lot of players that came out of nowhere, especially at the quarterback position. Go to Brandon Miller's fantasy player. Okay, so yeah, I know Brandon Miller. You can probably search through a lot of players. If I talked about the player, chances are they put a video in there. I want us to trade AJB and some picks for a 101 to get Marvin. Nah, everybody wants Marvin. I think Marvin next year is going to be a good fan. He's going to be a good player, but I don't know. It all depends on where he goes. I actually think if he goes with Kyler, I might be undervaluing him in like the 5th round, 6th round. So let's see how this thing plays out. Because Marvin, he's a special player. He's a special player. Derrick Henry fantasy outlook next year all depends on who he signs with. And I think he's going to be a value next year because people are we get draft fatigue. We draft the same players. We talk about the same players. As players get older, we assume at some point they're going to fall off. It's the natural thing to do. We saw with Dalvin Cook this year. He fell off. Travis Kelce, we've been waiting for it. Finally started to see signs of that. DeAndre Hopkins didn't have the year that he normally is used to having. So I think when it comes to like Derrick Henry and some of the older players next year, there's going to be a lot of value. Now, some of these guys are going to miss just because of the nature of the game, right? Like when they're older, they may miss, but like you're going to get a value on Aaron Jones next year. You're going to get a value on Derrick Henry next year. A lot of these older-esque type players are going to fall in drafts. So Derrick Henry could be like a 6th round pick. And he just, what do you finish with this year? 1,012? Something like that? Like he finished with, what did Derrick, I'm about to find what Derrick Henry finished with. So give me a second. Derrick Henry finished with, and he had 2 passing TDs this year too, didn't he? At least one. So Derrick Henry this year was. Why does it not want to load up for me, man? There we go. Yeah, he was 1,167 yards, 12 touchdowns, and he threw 2 TDs. Like, that's what he finished. And he finished as RB. I should have just did this on Sleeper where it tells me all the info. That's what I am going to do real quick. Derrick Henry was the RB8. The RB8. Now, when you got a player who's the RB8 and they're probably going to go outside of the top 12 running backs, like that automatically becomes valuable. So I think it all depends on where he goes, but I do think there's going to be a massive, massive amount of value if you select Derrick Henry for your team next year. Almost forgot the piece in here after Fantasy Football Rush. Yeah, I don't even have to put on the like a 60-second, the window or 2-minute window. Like sometimes it gets crazy in here, but I feel like this is a good setup. Y'all like this setup better? I'm not very entertaining live. If we ain't talking fantasy football, it gets kind of dry in here sometimes, huh? Is that what it is? I'm just not entertaining enough. We might not have enough to set up a basketball league. I already got the basketball league set up. It's a Beat Justin Henry league. Y'all are trashing that, so we might have to get a new one. And then tomorrow we might not have enough to do a fantasy draft tomorrow. I wanted to do a mock draft for next year. Y'all want to do one tomorrow? That was my game plan. It sucks the trades that could have put me over the top got vetoed. They were fair moves. Vetoes, bro. I fucking hate vetoes. I hate vetoes. How is Diggs still a second rounder to you? I mean, Diggs, what was he this year? Was Diggs still finished as the top receiver this year, even with the terrible second half he had. So my gut is that they right the ship with him. I don't think he's just a terrible, terrible receiver, right? He's not. But at the end of the day, like he just had a bad second half of football. He was still, I don't know what Diggs finished at. Let's see. Diggs finished as a wide receiver. He finished as a wide receiver 9. I just think that there's still more gas left in the tank, and he had a bad stretch. I think this team spends the offseason trying to figure out either A, how to get him involved, or B, they ship his ass off. That's it. That's it when it comes to Diggs, man. Like, I think the talent is still there. It's not like he just forgot how to play the game of football. He had damn near 90% of his stats in the first half of the year. So I still think there's more there. He'll probably slip a little bit further down than second round, but I still value him as a second round player. He was a first round player this year and played like that for 10 games throughout the year. Oh man, Justin, I cashed out in fantasy. I got so lucky in the playoffs with Kyron and stuff. 3 out of 6 leagues, so I definitely made a profit. Hey, profit's all that matters, man. If you in the green, that's a win. That's a win. Derrick Henry to the Chargers, Harbaugh with Cook. Yeah, I think that'd be a good spot for him, right? Like Derrick Henry seems like the kind of guy that wants to be in the limelight. He does like commercials sometimes. I think that would be a hell of a fit. And then they could get a young guy behind them too. Like, or shit, maybe they keep Eckler. Like maybe that's a reason to keep Eckler on like a nice team-friendly deal. You bring in Derrick Henry to have both of those guys. Like shit, that wouldn't be a bad look, right? Breaking news: the Jets just signed Henry. That would be their best quarterback. Aaron Rodgers back now, but it would have been their best quarterback this year. They added the rookies on Sleeper. Bet we'll do a mock tomorrow. We'll do a mock. All right, we got to cover this NFC Championship. I'll get back to the comments in a second. You ain't boring. If you was, I would have stayed in here for 24 hours. Do I need to do another 24-hour stream? Is that what you're telling me, Cade? Crazy how once the fantasy season ends, there's no one to be found. The real one's still here. You know what? Real one salute. I probably am some of that because I was gone for a couple weeks. No streaming. But yes, it is kind of crazy. And I've yet to figure that out. I can't figure that out. Why during fantasy it's like everybody comes here, they checking it out and they watching. But then once fantasy goes, it's like, all right, J-Han's nothing. So either A, I'm not entertaining, and all I do either A, I'm not entertaining enough, or B, people really only watch because I know my shit. That's probably what it is. It has to be, or I'm just too good. There's no other factor, right? Kyrie still got to show up. Been waiting. Kyrie gone, bruh. Kyrie gone. Another 24-hour stream? Hell no, we ain't doing that. I'll do a shorter one though. I'm down to do a shorter one. Some of y'all got to come on the show then. That's the buy-in. I'll post the link. Some of y'all gotta come in and hang out. All right, let me get to this NFC Championship real quick, and then we'll get back into comments. All right. Lions and Niners. And for me, this is this is gonna be a tough one. A tough one. I talked about this on Sirius. I was on Sirius XM last week before the Niner Packer game, and I talked about how I thought the Packers posed a little bit more trouble for the Niners than everybody thought. And I kind of think that about the Lions as well. I'm sure there's going to be a bunch of people on Lions money line, which I actually don't think is it's not a bad bet this week. I think the Niners can pull this thing out, but I do have some concerns because I feel like this Lions team, for the struggles that Jared Goff has on the road at times, for the inexperience that maybe they have during a playoff run, they're playing together right now. They're playing for something, man. You could just tell, you could sense the energy. Like, this Lions team is for real, and they got the heart of Detroit every time they step on that damn field. Now, the 7-point game lets me know, obviously, Vegas believes in the Niners, and they believe in the Niners at home, right? Giving them a 7-point edge. That's a big spread for a Detroit team that's, earned a lot of respect around the league. 51 points on the board, should be much higher scoring than the Niners game was in the rain last week. So good weather conditions. And this is also going to be the primetime game. This is the 3:30 game, my time, 6:30 game, Eastern time. So I think this game is going to be one filled with fireworks. I can see a lot of offense. Obviously, the health of Deebo Samuel is big for the Niners offensively, but I can see a lot of points just being put up in general for this game. One of the major storylines is, can Jared Goff overcome some of his road struggles, right? This Detroit team, a lot better at home than they are on the road. Jared Goff specifically tends to play a little bit better at home than on the road. But when it comes to this team, and I think just some of the weapons that have emerged here, especially in the second half of the year, seeing Jahmyr Gibbs playing at the level he is playing at right now, I don't think that Jared Goff needs to play a perfect game against this Niner defense for the Lions to get a win. I just don't see it that way. I think that Jared Goff could play even a slightly below average game, and this Lions team, if they play their game the right way, could sneak out a win on the road. Now, I think with the focus probably being, hey, let's get Jahmyr Gibbs involved. Let's get Dave Montgomery involved. If this run game gets going for Detroit, we don't have to see a 300-yard, 3-touchdown game out of Jared Goff. I do think the Niners defensive front is going to have to slow down the attack, this rushing attack from Detroit. And when you start thinking about the passing game options too, like there's a lot of what the Lions like to do is in the short to intermediate passing game. St. Brown and Sam Laporta, who's come on as a rookie and looked like a vet. He looked like a damn vet in the game right now. Those two are carrying the offense. And then there's still the lurking downfield threats. Josh Reynolds obviously is a part of that, but Jameson Williams, we ain't really seen a whole lot of him splash plays downfield throughout this season. So that is still there against a very leaky Niners secondary at times. So we saw Jordan Love, especially in the first half of the game on Saturday. He looked like he was going to have opportunities against this Niners secondary. And the pass rush ain't been there. We ain't seen that Nick Bosa that's causing havoc, wrecking havoc all over the place. It's like this Niner defense has been not as elite as it was once thought to be. So I think the Lions will need to overcome some road struggles, but they don't need to play a perfect game. Who does need to play a more perfect game, in my opinion, is Brock Purdy. The defense, with the way it's been looking, obviously the offense is going to have to make plays. And, the Lions have been one of the better teams at stopping the run throughout the course of this season, especially fantasy-wise, right? We've talked about that here fantasy-wise, how the Lions have been able to shut down running backs, especially since the beginning part of the season. But Aiden Hutchinson has been carrying this Lions defensive front, and if they can somehow get in Brock Purdy's face, this is a player who is it's a lot of rhythm for Brock Purdy. He's want to make rhythm throws. Can he make big-time throws? Absolutely he can. but he's a rhythm player. And in order to see a guy that, is throwing 270 yards, throwing 2-3 TDs in a game, if the Lions don't want to see that Brock Purdy, they're going to have to get there and get pressure in his face. So I think that's going to be a big storyline is can the Lions make Brock Purdy uncomfortable? And if not, that means it's going to be a long day for the Lions. So I think Brock Purdy has the opportunity to come in and right some wrongs that he had from this game against the Packers. He has the opportunity to do that, but if the Lions defensive front can get in there and cause pressure, it'll be a lot harder to do that. The biggest X factor in this game is going to be the run game for both teams. King Christian McCaffrey, obviously we know what he can do on a daily basis, and he's pretty much matchup proof, right? Like, I don't think anybody's going to contest that Christian McCaffrey can run against any defense, but if this Lions front can slow down Christian McCaffrey just a little bit, it changes the narrative for them in this attack. And I also think the same thing on the other side, right? If Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery get the ball rolling against this Niner team and kind of neutralize that pass rush, that changes the game for them as well. So I think the X factor for both teams is the run game. Who can establish the run the best? I think the team that does that, the team we see run the football the best, is going to be the team that ends up getting a W in this game. All right. As far as the score for this game, I've kind of gone back and forth on how I think this game will play out. There's been times where I think, all right, Lions got enough to overcome any deficits and they'll beat the Niners. And there's times where I'm like, the Niners are just a better football team, right? Just a better, more complete team. And I truly believe this is going to be one of those games that comes down to who has the ball last. Who has the ball last? And I know it's really cliche to say, but that is how I feel like this is going to be who has the ball last type games. Because if we see Jared Goff driving down the field, I feel very confident about it. It's last possession type of game, in my opinion. I'm going to go 31-28. I think the Niners pull this one off, and it might come down to one Jake Moody, a kick that we're talking about to send the Niners to a Super Bowl. It wouldn't surprise me to see that. But 31-28 is my score. I think the Niners pull it off, but just ever so slightly. How y'all feel about that? Y'all agree? Y'all agree? Are you touching anytime CD this week? No, I'll go over player props on Friday. I'll probably will do it anytime. Let's see if I can give you anytime right now. Anytime score right now off the top of my head. Now let's wait till Friday. I'll get you. I'll get into some anytimes on Friday. All right, Jay Hen, it was good chatting with you, bro. Mario, appreciate you tapping in, bro. Yes, sir. We'll be here tomorrow. Like I said, we'll probably do a mock. If we can get enough people, I'll go on TikTok tomorrow and get some people to come on do the mock draft with us. So what's next for the Niners if they lose this game? They keep getting this far, but lose with all this talent with incoming paying players this offseason. You know what? That's a very good question, Ja. And I think there will be a lot of evaluation. If the Niners can't get the job done again, there will be a lot of evaluation on it depends. All right. It honestly depends on how the Niners look, right? If there's glaring deficiencies at the quarterback position, then I think that's a change that's going to have to be made. But if Purdy plays a pretty good game, which I'm anticipating he plays well, maybe not, he'll play like Brock Purdy. I think there's going to be a lot of discourse about the coaching staff because I'm sure coaches are going to get plucked from this team. But the change has got to happen in the secondary. It got to happen on the defensive side. And with a lot of contracts, I'm not sure who's in, who's out, but I know there's a lot of contracts with the Niners that still need to be having. This team is paying a lot of people right now. I think the window isn't closed yet, but there has to be some kind of moves made if this team loses again. It has to, because you can't keep going back out there putting the same team out there every single year. So while I would like to think that there's not any major wholesale changes, like you're not changing the key pieces on offense, Trent will be back, CMC will still be back, Debo, I'm sure Ayuk will get paid, Kittle's still around, Purdy's still on a nice team-friendly deal for the next year or two. It really comes down to like the defensive side. And you either got to make a major trade or you have to make a major addition signing-wise. The money, I'm not sure how the money matches up, but you're paying a lot of guys on the defensive line. You got good linebackers, the secondary. It would have to be a big trade or a big free agent move in the secondary. My opinion. Lions upset. I ain't mad at that. It is what it is at this point. I don't think it'll happen, but it's in the realm of possibilities. I think the Niners still win, and the Niners go to Super Bowl, and we ain't even talking about that. But I could see the Lions upset. And I'm not mad if you say that. Niners should win. I've been praying on the Lions' downfall since then. How you pray on the Lions' downfall? The Lions don't never win shit. How you play on the Lions' downfall? What do the Lions do to you? You're an Eagles fan. You think Ryan or Primetime going to show up at all this offseason? Who knows? A lot of people probably come in after the draft. Like, it was a long season fantasy-wise. So if you were just here for the fantasy stuff, you might be tired of my face anyway. We was doing daily shows. But, like, at the end of it, I ain't going to lie. At the end of it, you know, whoever's around here is all I care about. I don't care about who's not here. So Chase Young trade hasn't worked out, in my opinion. No, it hasn't. It hasn't. It would look good. It looked scary when we first saw it, but he hasn't had the impact. There's a reason why Washington let him go, and there's a reason he's probably going to be a free agent this year. I hate the Lions so much and the Texans. Oh, yeah, Texans fan. I don't know why I keep saying Eagles. Texans fan. That was a bad loss for you. I thought you were talking about Eagles. But yes, that was a bad loss for the Texans, man. Paul Quisenberry didn't play, but you know, at the end of the day, Texans, they got a young team, and they lost in the second round. They won their first week. What are you talking about, Kay? I'd rather have the 9. And why do the Texans hate the Lions? That don't make no damn sense. Y'all should have traded for Jalen Johnson. Yes. I don't know how that trade didn't go down. That would have been the move to get some help in the secondary, but it is what it is. Hopefully we can still make a Super Bowl without that deal. Technically, Eagles fan and a Texans fan, get out of here. You can't have multiple teams, bro. Can't have multiple teams. So I've been on the track for word of the day. Somebody give me a word of the day. I got one ready, but I want to hear what y'all got for me. Somebody got to have a word of the day for me. But yes, later today, I will be dropping technical foul show with me and Corey Parsons. We go back and forth. It's going to be us debating like we did. If you guys watched last year, we had a show called Arch Rivals. Same breath, same token. It's a very similar format. Technical foul is the name. I hate the Lions too. How do y'all hate the Lions? I don't even hate the Lions, and we playing them this week because I lived in Texas for years, but I've been in PA for a while. Okay, so you association. I ain't mad at it because of association. I ain't too mad at that, bro. I'll choose the Eagles any day over that franchise. The Texans, bro. Shout out to the Texans, bro. The Texans, that's a team, man. You know, it's the only thing is sometimes when you grow a little too early, you miss out on like one extra player that you could get. They're already ready. They're a playoff team, but you miss out on like one extra player that could like change the trajectory of the franchise. When you go from like 2 to playoffs, like second pick in the draft to playoffs. So shout out to D'Amico. D'Amico turned that shit around. Texans should get Jalen Johnson. Texans already got corners. Stingley, I mean, they got Stingley on one. So it's Texas. I like the Texans defense already, but it wouldn't be a bad move. The word of the day yesterday was sarcasm. Anything come to you on that? Sarcasm? All right, sarcasm. So I think when we talk about a word like sarcasm, and I know you're being sarcastic, Cade, but listen, before I get into that, let me see if there's any others that are more applicable. But I got something for that. I got something for every day. Texans should also bring back Mike Evans home. Oh, that wouldn't be a bad move. Get Barkley and DT from the Ravens. Mike Evans to the Cowboys. I forgot he's from Texas, or at least no, he's from Texas, right? Mike Evans, where did he play? Him and Johnny played. Oh my God, why am I drawing a blank right now in the school, bruh? Why am I drawing a blank on the school? Bro, I watched every single game they had that year too. When I was working for Pro Football Focus. Oh, A&M. I'm like, I was tripping, bro. I'm like, Texas. Why are we talking about Texas? Yeah, A&M. They should Texas should get Mike Evans and then get Barkley and DT from the Ravens. I feel like that's too much for that Texas. They do need to bring somebody in, but they already got hella receivers. Tank Dell, Nico Collins. Nico Collins is him. But I think getting a running back in there is something they got to do. They got to get some kind of running back. Word of the day, Cowboys' recent Super Bowl wins. So the word of the day is none. Is that what you're telling me? The word of the day is 0. The word of the day is we forgot. The word of the day is how long ago? Is that what you was telling me, Ja? I'm not joking. The word of the day yesterday was sarcasm. All right, bet. We're going to rock with sarcasm. We're going to rock with sarcasm. Inspiration, that'll be on deck for another day. But you mentioned sarcasm, and it takes a lot, like intellect wise, to be a sarcastic person or understand sarcasm. And I think a lot of people use it in jest, right? A lot of people use sarcasm in jest, but sarcasm to me is one of the best forms of comedy, because it's like you have to be able to go through and understand somebody's pain points, but then also be able to understand like how to deliver a message in a sarcastic tone. And a lot of people think there's a negative connotation a lot of times with sarcasm, right? I don't want sarcasm. Sarcasm, because to me, there's a lot of people that think negatively of people who are sarcastic. But I think there's a certain element of like, you got to have a certain intellect in order to be a sarcastic individual. And I would say I'm pretty sarcastic, and you have to understand sarcasm as well. But I think there's a time and a place for it too. Like there's always a time and a place, and in showing a little bit more empathy towards people who may not have the same wavelength as you when it comes to sarcasm. So I think sometimes sarcasm gets used out of pocket. Other times it can be used in good jest. So it gets a bad rap, but at the same time, I think sarcasm has its place, man. Has its place in life, and it's needed. And I wish it had its own font on some of these platforms, so that way you could tell when somebody was being sarcastic. Sarcasm. I'm not sarcastic at all. Word of the day. I'm not joking. Word of the day was sarcasm. I did this one. Word of the day is inspiration. We should inspiration next time. I've never been sarcastic in my life, Cade. I think you're being sarcastic right there. All right, y'all. Hey, I'm about to get out of here. Like I said, technical foul is coming. Show me and Corey. It's a pre-record, so y'all can just sit back, tune in, chime away in the chat. I'll be back tomorrow live to do a mock draft with y'all. We're going to do one on Sleeper. And then also episode 2 is dropping me and Prabhat show called Send It. So if you like the first one, or if you like some of the clips from it, full episode will be out tomorrow night. Y'all enjoy the rest of your evening. Peace out.